friends, we are starting a new Magic Tree House today called Day of the Dragon King. And since today is our first day reading this new book, I'm going to take a sneak peek. The first thing that I usually notice when I'm taking a sneak peek is the cover. Yeah, and I am noticing some interesting things about this cover. One of the things that I noticed is that it looks like we have a different culture, right, in our cover. I know that these hats I've seen before in like books and movies about maybe like an Asian culture, maybe some maybe Japan, maybe China. So I'm thinking that is maybe where they're gonna go. Are you guys thinking the same thing? Yeah, and I see that they have like a dragon. He has, it looks like to me like maybe a kimono or of some sort on. We'll have to keep reading, right, to hear some of those expert keywords, because Miss Coleman has not read this before, so I don't know all of those expert keywords yet. So we'll have to pay close attention. Okay. Who would burn books? I'm reading from my back blurb. Who would burn books? Jack and Annie find out when the Magic Treehouse whisks them back to ancient China. Oh, okay. So we're going to be in China. Yeah. There, a powerful emperor called the Dragon King has ordered that all books be burned. I'm wondering if that's who this is here. If this character maybe is the Dragon King. Will Jack and Annie be able to save at least one book, or will they be captured by the Emperor's soldiers? Okay. Thank you for raising your hand, Mila.
Usually they need someone that helps them. And supposedly they need help them, but in this book, supposedly it's not helping.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
So we know that in series we follow a pattern, right? Like usually they're in the tree house and then they open the book, they go someplace, they go and meet somebody, right, that could help them, and then they come back some way, right? We follow that pattern in our Magic Treehouse series. So do you think maybe they might still meet somebody that could help them?
Yeah, but I don't think it'll help them.
You don't think this will be the person that will help them?
No.
Okay, so these are some of the thoughts that we have as we start reading. Okay, the prologue. One summer day in Frog Creek, Pennsylvania, a mysterious treehouse appeared in the woods. 8-year-old Jack and his 7-year-old sister Annie climbed into the treehouse. They found that it was filled with what? Books. Jack and Annie soon discovered that the treehouse was magic. It could take them to the places in the books. All they had to do was point to a picture and wish to go there. Along the way, they discovered that the treehouse belongs to
Morgan Le Fay.
Morgan Le Fay. Morgan is a magical librarian from the time of King Arthur. She travels through time and space gathering books. In Magic Treehouse Book 12, Polar Bears Past Bedtime, Jack and Annie solved the last of 4 ancient riddles and became master librarians. To help them in all their future tasks, Morgan gave Jack and Annie secret library cards with the letters ML on them. Jack and Annie's first 4 missions as master librarians are to save stories from ancient libraries. When their first adventure ended, Magic Treehouse number 13, Vacation Under the Volcano, Morgan asked them to return to the treehouse in 2 weeks to go to China and save another story. Now, the 2 weeks are over. Chapter 1, The Bamboo Book. Annie peeked into Jack's room. Ready to go to China, she asked. Jack took a deep breath. Sure, he answered. Bring your secret library card, Annie said. I have mine in my pocket. Yep, said Jack. He opened his top dresser drawer and took out a thin wooden card. The letters ML on it shimmered in the light. Harley, can you close that door for me, please?
Chapter 1.
Jack dropped the card into his backpack, then he threw in his notebook and a pencil. Let's go, said Annie. Jack pulled on his pack and followed her. What are we in for today, he wondered. What else, talking about patterns, what else do we notice about Jack at the beginning of the books? How is Jack usually feeling?
Yeah.
Come here, Riley, how's Jack usually feeling? Yeah, a little bit scared. And how's Annie usually feeling? Alyssa?
Brave.
Pretty brave and excited, right?
I think girls are brave.
Riley?
Jack feels like Jack always feels like he's worried.
Ooh, worried. Yeah, that's a good word too. Riley?
Terrified.
Terrified, yeah. He always kind of has all those big emotions, right? Lorenzo?
Afraid.
Bye, Mom, said Annie as they passed their mom in the kitchen. Where are you going, she asked. China, said Annie. Great, said their mom. She winked at them. Have fun. Fun, thought Jack. He was afraid that fun wasn't quite the right word. There's your word, Lorenzo, afraid.
So why did they where they were going?
Do you think their mom thinks they're being serious, or do you think do you think mom thinks they're playing pretend?
They're playing pretend.
Just wish us luck, he said as he and Annie headed out the door. Good luck, their mother called. If only she knew we weren't pretending, Jack whispered to Annie. Yeah, said Annie, grinning. Outside, the sun shone brightly. Birds sang, crickets chirped. Jack and Annie walked up their street towards the Frog Creek woods. I wonder if the weather will be this nice in China, Annie said. I don't know. Remember, Morgan said this would be a very scary adventure, said Jack. They're always scary, said Annie. But we always meet animals who help us, or people. True, said Jack. I bet we meet someone great today, said Annie. Jack smiled. He was starting to feel excited now, instead of scared. Let's hurry, he said. They ran into the Frog Creek woods. They slipped between the tall trees until they came to a huge oak. Hello, came a soft voice they knew well. They looked up. Morgan was peering down from the magic tree house. Ready for your next mission as master librarians, she said. Yes, said Jack and Annie. They grabbed the rope ladder and started up. Are we still going to China? Asked Annie when they climbed into the treehouse. Indeed, said Morgan. You're going to ancient China. Here's the title of the story you must find. She held up a long, thin strip of wood. It looked like a ruler, except it had strange writing on it instead of numbers. Long ago, the Chinese discovered how to make paper. It was one of the world's most important discoveries, said Morgan. But you are going to a time earlier than that, to a time when books were written on bamboo strips, like this one. Wow, said Annie, pointing at the figures on the bamboo. So this is Chinese writing?
That's Chinese, right? Yes. That's Chinese. We write regular because we're not Chinese when we read.
Yes, said Morgan. Just as we have letters, Chinese writing is made up of many different characters. Each one stands for a different thing or idea. These characters are the title of an ancient Chinese legend. You must find the first writing of the legend before the Imperial Library is destroyed.
Why?
Hurry, let's go, said Annie. Wait, we need our research book, said Jack. Yes, you do, said Morgan. From the folds of her robe, she pulled out a book. On the cover was the title, The Time of the First Emperor. Morgan handed the book to Jack. This research book will guide you, she said. But remember, in your darkest hour, only the old legend can save you. But we have to find it first, said Annie. Exactly, said Morgan. She handed Jack the bamboo strip and he slipped it into his pack. Jack pushed his glasses into place, then pointed at the cover of their research book. I wish we could go there, he said. The wind started to blow, the treehouse started to spin, It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still. Absolutely still. I'm going to read one more chapter for today. Chapter 2, The Cow Herd. Oh, wow, Annie said. These clothes feel so soft. And look, I have a pocket for my secret library card. Jack opened his eyes. Their clothes had magically changed. They no longer wore jeans, t-shirts, and sneakers. Instead, they had on baggy pants, loose shirts, straw shoes, and round hats. Annie's shirt had a pocket in it. I bet it would have been really helpful if they would have been able to change into some warm clothes when they were in the Ice Age, don't you think?
Yeah.
Jack saw that his backpack had become a rough cloth sack. Inside were his research book, his notebook, his library card, and the bamboo strip. Cows, said Annie, looking out the window. Jack looked out too. The tree house had landed in a lone tree in a sunny field. Cows grazed, and the young man stood watching over them. At the edge of the field was a farming house. Beyond the house was a walled city. It looks so peaceful, said Annie. You can never be sure, said Jack. Remember, Pompeii looked peaceful before the volcano went off. Oh yeah, said Annie. Let's see what the book says, said Jack. He reached in the sack and pulled out the china book. He opened it and read out loud. Over 2,000 years ago, China was ruled by its first emperor. Because he chose the dragon to be his symbol, he was called Dragon King. In China, dragons are seen as brave and powerful creatures. Dragon King? That sounds a little scary, said Jack. I like his outfit, said Annie. Next to the writing was a picture. It showed a man wearing a rich, flowing robe with wide sleeves. He also wore a tall hat with beads hanging from it. Jack pulled out his notebook and wrote, First Emperor called Dragon King. The book we need must be in the Dragon King's library, said Annie. I bet his palace is in that city. Kylie, that's not safe. I need you to sit up. If you need to not sit on a stool and sit in your chair, you need to do so. Kristen, not the time. Your eyes are up on me. Thank you. Jack looked up. Right, he said, and that's how to get there. He pointed across the field to a dirt road that led to the walled city. Good plan, said Annie. She climbed out of the treehouse and started down the rope ladder. Jack threw the china book and his notebook into his sack. He slung the sack over his shoulder and followed Annie. When they reached the ground, they started through the field. Look, that guy's waving at us, said Annie. The man tending the cows was shouting and waving. He started running towards them. Uh-oh, what's he want, said Jack. A moment later, the man stood in their path. He was young and handsome with a kind face. Can you do me a great favor, he asked. I would be most grateful. Of course, said Annie. Give a message to the silk weaver. You will see her at the farmhouse, said the young man. Tell her to meet me here at twilight. Sure, no problem, said Annie. The young man smiled. Thank you, he said. Then he started to leave. Wait, excuse me, said Jack. Do you know where we can find the Imperial Library? A look of horror crossed the man's kind face. Why? He whispered. Oh, I was just wondering, said Jack. The young man shook his head. Beware of the Dragon King, he said. Whatever you do, beware. Then he turned and ran back to his cows. Oh man, whispered Jack. Now we know one thing for sure. What? Asked Annie. This place is not as peaceful as it seems, Jack said. We are going to pause there. Chapter 3 is called The Silk Weaver. The Silk Weaver. Virtual friends, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.